Hey guys, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and tap the bell for notifications so you get notified next time I go live. Hey guys, what's going on? Sunny here from Online Sales Funnel Academy, coming to you from my home office near Seattle, Washington. Hey guys, I got a fun one for you tonight. I wanted to break down a little bit of a vacation I was on recently in Idaho visiting with my parents. Now picture this. We had decided to drive to Sun Valley, and it was about 140 miles from the town that we were in. And we decided to go about 75 miles in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. We saw a sign that said Mammoth Ice Caves, a naturally occurring underground ice cave that was like a tourist attraction. So imagine this, we're in the middle of the desert, as you can see here. We got sagebrush surrounding us in every direction. There is nothing out here in the middle of nowhere. We decided to go down this long, windy road, almost a mile and a half in, and I promise you there is nothing out here, okay? And we were just hoping that we had taken the right turn, okay? So we wandered down this road for about a mile and a half, mile and 3/4, something like that. It's about 102 degrees outside. There is absolutely not a person anywhere in sight, okay? And then we finally come upon this old homestead looking thing in the middle of nowhere where the road just dies. And we were like, well, I guess we're here. But man, we were afraid to get out of the car because this place looked so decrepit. We weren't sure what was going on. Well, at the same time, we knew that this was probably where we needed to be. So we got out of the car and started looking around, and sure enough, we see these big creepy signs that with these big hand-carved face that say park here, walk in. So we're like, okay, we're probably in the right place, but you know, we just want to make sure that we're not going to get axe murdered because it was really throwing that creepy vibe. I had not seen any faces like this since I've never been to Stonehenge, but it was like, what is going on out here? And where's the dang ice cave? Like, what is going on? So we decided to park the car. We hopped out and we started walking in. And again, there was like nothing around. Okay, you guys, so try and keep that in mind. It was like a horror movie. It's dead quiet. We get out of the car. We start walking into the entryway of this thing that's supposed to be an ice cave. Of course, we had to stop and use the facilities because we don't know where we're at or what we're going to have an opportunity to see next. So after this wonderful facility stop in the parking lot, we decided to go walking in and just see what's up because we saw a sign somewhere. We're checking our Google where it said it was actually a museum and an ice cave. So we're like, okay, let's figure out if we can figure out like where this thing is. It's the middle of the day. It's like on a Friday. And again, just throwing off that creepy vibe. It's got a whole bunch of old abandoned equipment laying around. There's no signs. We don't really know what's going on. But we're like, okay. And luckily, we did see another car in the parking lot. So we're like, okay, there must be someone else here. Now, as I started to walk in, I heard this noise. It scared the living daylights out of me. It was a scream, and I found out it was coming from this beautiful peacock that was in the middle of the courtyard. Now, this was really interesting. We found out later, as we started on our tour, that the peacocks were brought here by the guy who owned this homestead. The guy that owned this homestead and who ended up owning these ice caves actually had brought all these birds out in the middle of nowhere on his homestead like 20 years ago. And this is what's left of his homestead, and he was able to claim this piece of property under the Homestead Act. And because he was able to claim the ice caves under the Homestead Act down below his property by growing mushrooms, which is the definition of the Homestead Act, is that you have to be able to grow a food item on your land for X amount of years. So this gentleman was able to claim the ice caves as his own, and he built a homestead property on top of it. And then he brought in these beautiful peacocks, which I don't know how long they've been there or what, but they were beautiful. They're in the middle of nowhere. And our joke was like, do these birds know that they're literally in the middle of nowhere? Like, I don't even know, but they must tolerate the hot weather pretty well because they were everywhere. Now, geographically speaking, this is also in alignment. It's near the Oregon Trail. And if you guys remember the Oregon Trail at the turn of the century and whatnot, there was a whole bunch of mining in this area. There was a gold rush in California, but there was a silver rush in Reno and Idaho. So there's remnants of mining equipment laying around this homestead that we feel were probably from turn of the century or even the 1800s when they were mining for silver in this region. And these pieces ended up here at this homestead. Now again, the peacocks were absolutely gorgeous, and I loved watching them. They were the focus of my entertainment, and they were just so cool because they were so chill. They would just kind of hang out and kind of scream. They're kind of like dogs in the sense that they would alert each other anytime someone drew near. So we feel like the little visitor center always knew when someone pulled in, because they would just scream these really loud screams. But I'd never seen a peacock up close, and this was a pretty cool experience because they've got the bright green and the bright blue and kind of silvery look to them. They got that funny little feather on the top of their head. And these are all the males, right? So the female peacocks are, which I don't have any pictures of because they're dull gray. They're not very exciting, and like most animals in nature, the boys are always the good-looking ones trying to get the attention of the females so they can breed. So I got a couple pictures of that, and this is, I believe that's the homestead there in the background is where the daughter lives there right now, because that's an emu. I'd never seen an emu. Okay, so this was a little bit of the entryway here walking in. Now keep in mind it's like 102 degrees. Dad stayed in the car. Mom and I went in to check it out, see what was going on. And we got inside this visitor center, and it had, again, got the real creepy vibe going on, but whatever. So we go inside. You definitely don't see that every day, these little Stonehenge things. We found out that the guy had actually carved them himself. Now we get in here, and there's all these amazing artifacts laying around, like all these gemstones were here. Apparently this guy had been an avid hunter, and when he had claimed this homestead, he had, I guess, like to travel around the world and actually go shoot a lot of animals, which I'm not a fan of, but you know, he had this amazing alligator right here in the lobby, and he had some other antelope and type things right there. And the claim to fame was that he had personally, you know, killed this crocodile or alligator or whatever it is, I don't know. And so it was just really interesting. And then there was like a college kid sitting in the lobby, and he was kind of giving us the tour, and he's like, okay, well, the ice caves are down below us, but you have to walk a quarter of a mile. And oh yeah, make sure you watch out for rattlesnakes. And my dad and I were like, well, you know, my dad's kind of got a bum knee, so we're like, yeah, we're not really feeling that one. So we decided to just tour right behind for $12. We can walk into this what they call as a museum right behind this kid, and I'll show you this. It was like this. It's in one room, and they've apparently this owner had traveled around the world collecting artifacts and antiquities, and it's one of the largest collections in the world. That's a private collection of these kinds of items. Okay, so this guy had stuff from Africa. He had skulls, he had skeletons, he had birds, he had fossils, he had dinosaurs coming up in a second, he had mammoth bones. And if you guys aren't familiar, in the region that we were in, there's mammoth bones everywhere. You know, a mammoth is a really large extinct elephant that used to have fur coming off of it with tusks. All right. And so it was amazing. That right there is a tailbone of a dinosaur. Just laying there. I'd never seen one that up close in my life. And every single one of these little fish tanks had different items in it. There was stuff from Africa. There was stuff from Indonesia. This was a conch or a seashell. That's like old piranhas that were found in fossil beds. There was these unique gemstones that's a skeleton of a beaver. I just thought it was kind of cool, so I took a picture of it. All sorts of really cool stuff up in here, but my complaint was that it was crammed so much together it was hard to move around. This is a stalagmite, or they call them lava drips because there's a lot of lava in the region. And it was just really interesting to see how the kinds of items that this person had collected before he'd passed away and left his homestead to his daughter. Okay, so I'm walking around, Dad and I were taking pictures. This says those are mammoth bones right here from a mammoth, and just like crazy how huge those bones are. It's crazy to even think that an animal is that big. or bigger than an elephant. It's just kind of mind-blowing, to be honest. Blew my mind. So we're walking around the museum here, and they had some more exhibits here. They had bugs and insects from around the world. We had some spiders, some really creepy stuff that I hope to never see, some tarantulas. There was, I don't know if I threw this photo of it. So there was a snake exhibit, things of that nature, just like really cool. Like I'm more on the insect side. I'm, like I said, not really a huge fan of the dead animal stuff, but what are you gonna do? So we were in this museum, we're walking around, and these really cool butterflies from around the world that you just don't see these species in America, I don't think. I think they're from Africa or something. It's just really cool to see how nature has all these different kinds of patterns and stuff on their, found in nature. It's pretty fascinating, if you ask me. So we were wrapping up our tour. We spent about 25-30 minutes looking at all the skeletons and animals in there, and there was fish and stingray and bats and just all sorts of things. Like, there's so much, you can't even take it in, honestly. And this isn't even half the photos, guys. I wanted to leave an air of mystery, and you guys should definitely, for sure, check it out if you're ever in the area. And you might be wondering what this has to do with marketing, and because I always have my I love this photo. Private property, no unauthorized access. And there is the watchdog of the bird up there trying to tell people to stay out. So I always have my marketing goggles on, as it were, because I teach people marketing all the time. So, and there's an emu hanging out. And oh, by the way, it's right next to the caution rattlesnake sign on the cage. You probably can't even see him, but he's the brown thing. He looks just like the bush. It's hard to see him. So I decided to do what I call my top 10 things that I would do to make this homestead experience more of a marketing or touristy kind of experience. And usually I'm teaching digital marketing, but I always have, like I said, I always have my marketing goggles on. So I thought that I would do kind of a top 10 right after this photo of this awesome peacock. All right, so number 10. The first thing I would do, oh yeah, that's the lava fields all around the outside of the landscape, okay? So the number 10, I've got 10 recommendations I would do with this landscape to make it like more of a touristy attraction. And let's start with number 10. I would add bricks to the courtyard or create a courtyard. With a really low cost like this, it's a simple way to clean up a property, and it just makes it look cleaner. Number 9, I would add flowers and flower gardens to the entrance. It's no secret that, again, flowers are very bright and colorful, and even if they're in the middle of nowhere, they had to have had some water. Number 8 was add outdoor patios with seating, so to encourage people to hang out and enjoy the experience to some extent. Number 7 is to create a photo opportunity with the name of the building and create a hashtag so people can take their photo and tag it on social media. Number 6, sell more food in the lobby. They only had like one candy bar and one bottle of water, and it was really funny because they didn't offer hardly anything. Number 5, create an audio narration for people going through the museum. This was funny because I feel like if they would have recorded the experience, we would have been able to get more out of the experience because there was nobody there to walk us through the artifacts. Number 4, wipe down the dust and clean. Okay, well, nobody likes to be in a dirty room, and I just felt like that if we had everything was wiped down, and I know we're in the middle of the desert here, but come on, guys, let's wipe it down. 3, put more focus on dinosaurs and the mammoth. You guys, there were so many dinosaurs and mammoth bones just laying there. And with the advent of Jurassic Park 25 years ago, dinosaurs are still all the outrage. And there's no reason why they couldn't be advertising the dinosaurs and even the woolly mammoth that they've got right there on their property. That whole region is known for mammoth dinosaur bones. And that's a kind of an animation of a mammoth. It's a big woolly, basically an elephant with long fur and huge tusks. And there's no reason why they can't be capitalizing on that engagement. If they would have put a sign out in front that said woolly mammoth bones and dinosaur bones here, they would be getting so many more people. Okay, number 2, it looks like I got out of order, is to be put feeders in the lobby or out in the courtyard so you can actually feed the peacocks. I just think it'd be really cool. Like sometimes you go to a zoo and you can like put in a quarter and feed the ducks. I just think that'd be cool to kind of like drive engagement, and you know, plus it'd give the peacocks something to look forward to with all the tourists. Number 1, capture emails from the visitors to promote themselves. Again, you know, I promote this on my channel all the time. I talk about this. It's so important for businesses to try and capture emails from your customers. So they didn't even try. There was no CRM. I didn't see them, you know, say, oh, scan this code and get this coupon, or share this on social, or tag us on Instagram, or anything like that. Like 0 attempts were made, and maybe that's because they rely on you know, one-off visitors. But you know, the first thing we did when we left is we went and told all of our relatives about it and how cool it was and about our experience. So I really feel like they're super missing out by not trying to capture people on social. So you guys, thank you so much for hanging in there on this video. I know it's something a little bit different. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you would have done different. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button and tap the bell for more notifications for the next time I go live on my channel. And you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.